Back in 1980, after he received sannyas from Muktananda, he then made me his master of ceremonies. The guru would transmit some of his fully awakened Shakti into the disciple, then draw that energy up through the spinal column, awakening the Kundalini. Shaktipat is the direct transmission of fully awakened divine power from a siddha, from an awakened being, to a disciple. And it removes whatever blocks there are to the awakening of the Kundalini. It happened in his presence spontaneously for many, many people. During his second world tour, the crowds were getting so large, people coming wanting to receive Shaktipat, that he created a program, a 2-day program called the Intensive, the Shaktipat Intensive, where he would facilitate the awakening for those who wanted to receive it in 4 main ways: through the look, either looking at him or the student looking at the guru, the thought, the sankalpa, the intention of the guru, the word, the mantra, or simply through the touch. He would go around during the meditation and touch people with the peacock feathers. And what happened was he would remove the obstacles to the natural awakening of the Kundalini. And he often described this Shaktipat as kind of like priming a pump. So if you're pumping water and there's no water coming out, you can put a little bit of water in and pump it, and it will draw the Shakti out. In the same way, the guru would transmit some of his fully awakened Shakti into the disciple, then draw that energy up through the spinal column, awakening the Kundalini, purifying the different chakras, and initiating a process called sadhana. He would prescribe specific practices for each of us to do that would fully awaken the Kundalini. But many people had powerful experiences at the intensive of the awakening of the energy, but that was simply a state experience that began a process of inner unfoldment that required doing sadhana, doing spiritual practice over a long period of time, in order to fully awaken the experience to a stage of development where that state became your permanent stage of being. And that takes time. So the initiation is called Shaktipat, and then we do a period of sadhana until we can maintain that awareness in its fullness permanently. Many of us have leaks. People have old bad habits. So we get Shaktipat, and then we revert back to our old bad habits, and the energy leaks away, and then we need to do practices to rekindle that fire. Kundalini is a very powerful energy that needs to be contained with it. And this is one of the reasons that some traditions encourage you to keep quiet about your experiences so you can contain the energy. When the ego takes over and you want to tell everybody, I had this amazing experience, you're leaking the energy. If it comes from a place of purity, we're extending the energy, we're sharing the energy. We can actually become a vehicle for Shaktipat for other people if it comes from a pure place. But the danger is that many of us, the ego gets activated when we get Shaktipat, and we want to tell the world, and that's when we dissipate the energy. So Muktananda encouraged us to share our experiences from the heart, not from the ego. Back in 1980, after he received sannyas from Muktananda, he then made me his master of ceremonies, and I sat next to him when he gave these Shaktipat Intensives. And he trained me diligently for the next 9 months on how to give these intensives. I became the speaker at the intensive, the master of ceremonies. He instructed me how to give Shaktipat, and instructed me when Muktananda returned to India that I should continue to do that. And so I've done that now for over almost 45 years. He showed me how to give Shaktipat, simply to remember him. He even gave me his peacock feathers, which I have right here. So his peacock feathers, which is the vehicle that I use for touching people, giving Shaktipat. He gave me his his clothing that he was wearing when he gave intensives. Gave me his lungi, his kurta, and a vest and everything. So he really said, just remember me when you do that. He says, if you think you're giving Shaktipat, you'll get fried. But if you remember that you're simply a channel for the lineage, it's the power of the lineage that he transmitted to me and said, be a representative of the lineage, just as I am a representative. And I remember before the first intensive that I facilitated, I was feeling unworthy. How could I give Shaktipat, And I remember putting my head on Muktananda's sandals. He gave me his sandals before he left. That was his final blessing. Put my head on the sandals, and I was just remembering him. I was just overwhelmed with the responsibility, or so I thought of doing the ceremony. And I decided to look up, and I looked up, and above me was Muktananda's face. I could see his face, and his face were on the sandals of his guru, Bhagavan Nityananda. So I leaned back further, and I could see that Bhagavan Nityananda's face was on the feet of his guru, Ishwara Iyer. And so I leaned back as far as I could, and there was no end to the chain of guru and disciples, all the way back to Shiva. So I said, okay, I just put my head on the feet of the guru, and the lineage will take care of the work that needs to be done. So yes, I continue this work in India. We usually have one of these Shaktipat Intensives about once a month or so here. We've been in Rishikesh, we've done them in Goa, we've done them in Kashmir. So right now I'm involved with a project called Second Education, bringing meditation into the school systems of India. And it's very time involving. So right at this present time, I don't have any of the Shaktipat Intensives scheduled, but come the fall, once my workload eases up a little bit, we'll resume having these. And we're even considering a Shaktipat intensive online. I've never done that. I know that some of the teachers in my lineage do it. Guru Mai, she does Shaktipat intensives online. So we'll consider how to do that and let everybody know when that is. That'll be likely in September or October of this year. In the intensive, we give two different forms of mantra initiation. One is the initiation mantra, Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. It's the mantra of the Siddha lineage. It's the mantra that Muktananda received from Bhagavan Nityananda, and he passes that on through. Also, on the second day, we do an initiation on the practice of Hamsa. Hamsa is a practice that comes from the Vidyan Bhairava Tantra, ancient tantric agama scripture, dates back thousands of years. And in it, it describes the process of breath, and the mantra Hamsa being the natural breath that we learn and receive initiation into the practice of Hamsa. And people can use whichever mantra they prefer. Om Namah Shivaya. This project that I'm working on for the government of India right now, it's to bring meditation into all of the schools in India, all the universities and all the schools. So it's a big project. It's taking time, but I do want to continue offering the Shaktipat Intensive on a regular basis. I have a WhatsApp group called the Brahmananda Sangha. It's a WhatsApp group, and my WhatsApp number is +1, country code, 714-925-6646. So anyone can join, and it's there that I'll post the details of the next intensive. +1 714-925-6646, and I'll add you to the group.
This has been the AJPAR Spiritual Journalist Podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe.